Today, we're stepping into some truly unsettling territory. We're talking about unsolved mysteries, but specifically those where the victims themselves seem to leave crucial clues behind.
Right, clues that were definite, clear even, but somehow got overlooked, or maybe just hidden in plain sight.
These aren't cases defined by a lack of evidence. Far from it.
No, it's more about misinterpretation, isn't it? We're looking at stories of betrayal, sudden violence, careful concealment, the kind where you feel someone knows the truth, but it stays just beyond reach for the investigators.
Our mission today is to really look at those specific messages left behind, written notes, bits of audio, images, and try to figure out why they weren't enough.
Let's start in Japan. 2011, the disappearance of Mayumi Arashi. She was 27.
Okay, so Mayumi's at home. Her father's there, her baby, just 18 months old, and her sister, Yoko.
And apparently she gets really flustered, visibly upset about something, then she just leaves, telling them she's off to meet an old classmate.
But she never came back.
No, and Yoko, her sister, she does the logical thing context that classmate Mayumi supposedly went to meet.
Ugh.
The classmate says no, absolutely not. No meeting was ever planned. So right from the start, Mayumi had lied about where she was going. The whole reason for her leaving was built on a deception.
Okay, so that's strange already. Then comes the first clue, a note.
Yeah, Yoko finds this note, apparently from Mayumi, addressed to the family. It mentions a man known only as A.
And the message itself?
It's heavy, really cryptic. It reads something like, "To my family, I've been betrayed by A. This could be my punishment for betraying my husband. I'm sorry."
Wow. Okay, so what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Betrayal, punishment, and affair.
Exactly. It implies layers of betrayal, right?
Yeah.
Mayumi suggests she betrayed her husband, maybe had an affair with A, and then A betrayed her somehow, maybe financially, maybe something else. But the immediate focus, naturally, went straight to this mysterious A.
And that focus got sharper, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because Yoko then claims A actually called her.
Yeah. Yes. According to Yoko, A. Geller called, admitted he had met Mayumi the day she vanished. And then he said something truly bizarre.
What was it?
He apparently said he wanted to go to jail if Mayumi ever turned up dead.
That's not something an innocent person usually says.
Not at all. I mean, that sounds like someone who knows they're legally caught up in something bad. Either they helped with a suicide, or maybe they were directly involved in a homicide.
So the police obviously zeroed in on him.
Immediately. They tracked him down pretty quick, spotted him the next morning walking into a dense forest, and he was carrying 2 cartons of juice.
Juice? Okay, that's a weird detail.
It is. But before they could reach him, they lost him in the woods. He just disappeared. And he's never been found since.
So on the surface, the case looks sort of solved, right? A betrayed Mayumi, maybe killed her, felt guilty, then fled.
That was the narrative. But this is where the hidden plain sight idea comes in. The case blew up online after a news crew interviewed Mayumi's father.
And it wasn't what he said.
No, it was something in the background of the shot. On the wall behind him, something a news team totally missed.
What was it?
Another note, clearly visible, also in Mayumi's handwriting.
No way. What did the second note say?
This one was short, unaddressed, but devastatingly clear. It just said, "Don't trust what Yoko says."
Whoa. Okay. That changes everything.
Completely. Suddenly, the person who found the first note, the one incriminating A, the person who basically started the whole investigation down that path, is implicated by the victim herself.
So you have to ask, was the whole story about A, the betrayal, the guilt call, was all of that maybe a fabrication? A deliberate misdirection set up by someone inside the family?
That's the chilling possibility, isn't it? If Mayumi was trying to warn her family about danger, maybe the note about A was just a red herring. Maybe the real message was the one she made sure was visible, silently displayed the warning about Yoko.
A clue hiding right there on camera. Incredible. Okay, let's shift gears. If Mayumi left a written warning, our next case involves an auditory one, maybe even more terrifying.
All right, we're going to Texas now. August 8th, 2013. Brandon Lawson. He's 26.
Brandon has an argument at home, leaves late at night, heading to his dad's place. But his truck runs out of gas on Highway 277 near Bronte. Middle of nowhere, basically.
So he calls his brother, Kyle, asks him for help, bring some gas. But then he does something really odd.
What's that?
Instead of just waiting by his truck, which would be the normal thing to do, he leaves it. And not just leaves it, but leaves it parked at a weird angle, partly blocking the road, a serious hazard. Then he heads off into a nearby field.
Why would he do that? That suggests panic.
Exactly. He was clearly agitated, alarmed about something before Kyle even got there. And then comes the infamous 911 call.
Oh, yes. This recording is notoriously difficult to understand. Lots of static. He sounds panicked.
Extremely panicked. The transcript is debated, but you hear fragments. He says something like, state trooper pulled some guys over. Others hear the word sniper. Whatever he said, it's clear he was terrified of someone or something out there.
But the key part isn't just what he said, is it?
No. And this is crucial. Something apparently missed or downplayed initially. If you listen really closely to that recording, through the static and the panic, you can hear gunshots.
Gunshots, plural.
At least 2. Distinctly audible in the background. This wasn't just a guy who ran out of gas. This was an active, dangerous situation unfolding.
And the tragedy here is how that clue, the gunshots, the sheer panic, got lost in translation between the brothers.
Right. So Kyle arrives, but the police are already there. Not because of the 911 call, but because someone reported Brandon's truck blocking the road.
Okay, so Kyle sees the cops. What happens next?
Brandon manages to call Kyle one last time. The signal's terrible, cutting in and out, but Kyle hears him say he's in the field, and crucially that he's bleeding.
Bleeding. After gunshots were heard. That sounds critical.
It should have been, but Kyle knew Brandon had an old, outstanding warrant. A minor one, but still.
So Kyle thinks.
He makes an assumption. He thinks Brandon saw the deputies, panicked because of the warrant, ran into the field, and maybe just scratched himself on a fence or a bush while hiding. A simple explanation in the moment.
Oh, no. So he didn't tell the police his brother was bleeding and potentially in serious trouble?
No. He thought he was protecting Brandon from getting arrested over the warrant. He didn't relay the urgency, the danger, the bleeding to the deputies who were standing right there with him. A fatal misunderstanding.
And Brandon Lawson was never seen again.
Vanished without a trace. Bank account untouched. Phone went dead.
And there's some uncomfortable details about the location, too, right?
Yeah, it gets a bit murky. The land where he disappeared, it's owned by the local sheriff.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's wife runs the local newspaper, which reportedly didn't give the case much coverage. Later, the sheriff actually banned any further searches for Brandon on his property.
That certainly raises questions.
It does. But the core insight from the hidden clue, the audio, is that Brandon was in serious danger before the truck was even reported. The fact that he called 911 asking for police help despite having that warrant
means whatever he ran into scared him more than jail.
Exactly, exponentially more. The gunshots confirm it wasn't just paranoia.
Chilling. Okay, let's move from disappearances to, well, a different kind of horror.
Oh,
a discovery.
A very macabre one. We're going to Khabarovsk in East Siberia. This was relatively recent news at the time of the source. Some fishermen found a large bag washed up on a little island in a river.
And inside the bag?
Inside were 54 severed human hands.
54?
Yep.
Just hands.
Yes. And the detail that makes this even more sinister is that the hands appeared to have had their fingerprints deliberately removed, stripped off.
That's not random. That's methodical. That suggests planning and effort to prevent identification on a mass scale.
Absolutely. It screams calculation, not just panic.
So what was the official explanation for?
For 54 hands. The police came out pretty quickly with a statement. They claimed the hands were medical or forensic waste, inappropriately disposed of from a lab, basically a biohazard mishap.
That sounds like a massive understatement.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit hard to swallow, especially the fingerprint part.
Extremely hard to swallow for many people. Why would a forensic lab be disposing of hands after removing the fingerprints? That process itself suggests trying to hide identity, which doesn't align with standard lab procedures for disposal.
So if you don't buy the official story, what are the other theories?
Well, the theories are grim, as you'd expect. One is a serial killer, obviously, taking extreme measures to hide victim identities. Another theory points towards organized crime, possibly from across the border in China, given the proximity.
And the darkest theory?
Organ harvesting. The idea is that people are killed for their organs, and the hands are removed and disposed of separately, specifically to make identifying the bodies much harder, perhaps impossible, without fingerprints.
Just horrific possibilities. Did the police offer anything else?
They did mention that somehow, one of the 54 hands still had an identifiable print they were analyzing. But the central clue, the state of the hands themselves, really challenges that simple disposal error narrative. It forces you to ask what was really going on there.
Yeah, 54 hands don't just get misplaced. Okay, one last case. Let's travel far from Siberia now. To Hawaii.
Oahu specifically, and a place called the Haiku Stairs. Most people know it as the Stairway to Heaven.
Right, that incredibly long, steep staircase up the mountain. It's famous, but it's also illegal to climb, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Closed off, guarded.
Very much so. It's dangerous. But back in 2015, an 18-year-old named Dalampua, known as Mook, decided to hike it anyway. His grandmother warned him not to go, but he went.
And he was in touch with family while he was climbing.
Yeah, he was sending pictures back to them from his phone as he went up. Standard stuff for hikers. Until he sent one last picture. And after that, just silence, all communication stopped.
So they launched a search.
A big one. 5 days. Navy, fire department, the works. They searched extensively, but found absolutely no trace of Mook.
Given the location, the stairway to heaven, the immediate assumption must have been that he fell.
That was the obvious conclusion, yeah. It's a treacherous place. But investigators looked closer. They noted that based on his last picture, he wasn't actually that far up the mountain yet. And he wasn't in one of the super difficult or notoriously dangerous sections. It was accessible terrain.
So maybe not just a fall.
Maybe not. The real breakthrough, the hidden clue, came when they examined that very last photo he sent. Really blew it up, looked at the details.
And what did they see?
Tucked away in the foliage and the bushes just behind where Mook was standing, you could clearly see the shape of a person, a crouching man.
Crouching, hidden in the bushes.
Yeah.
In Mook's last photo.
Undeniably. Suddenly, the whole narrative shifts again. Was this just another illegal hiker trying to stay hidden? Or did Mook encounter this person? Did that encounter lead to his disappearance?
Did Mook mention seeing anyone in his messages?
No. Not a word about another person. Which makes it even stranger.
And this crouching man, has he ever come forward, identified himself?
Never. That's the key thing. Even if he was totally innocent, just another hiker trespassing, you'd think when a massive 5-day search involving the military is going on for a missing kid in that exact spot, you might come forward and say, hey, I was there, I didn't see anything, or whatever.
Right. You absolutely would. Staying silent seems suspicious.
Extremely suspicious. Why hide from the authorities during an active search unless you have something to hide? That footage in the background suggests a potential witness, or maybe worse, who chose to stay concealed, keeping the answer to what happened to Mook locked away in that final photo.
It's terrifying. All these cases, they have this common thread, don't they?
They really do. The victims, in their final moments, consciously or unconsciously, left something. A note on a wall, gunshots on a 911 call, a figure in a photo, hands missing fingerprints.
Clues trying to tell a story.
Exactly. Trying to communicate their peril or point towards the truth. But in every single case, that truth remains just out of grasp, likely known only to someone else who was there, because the initial read, the obvious narrative, obscured that vital hidden detail.
It really makes you think about how easily the truth can be missed, even when it's right in front of us. The most obvious clue isn't always the right one.
It's a sobering lesson. Sometimes you have to look past the noise, past the first explanation to see what's really there.
Well, these stories are definitely haunting. We hope they leave you thinking, maybe looking a little closer at the details in your own world. Thank you for joining us for this exploration today.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
If you found this discussion compelling and maybe a little chilling, please do hit that like button. It really helps us out. Share it with anyone you think might be interested.
And definitely subscribe to the channel, Horror Docs, if you haven't already. We delve into these kinds of dark mysteries regularly.
Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep an eye on the background details.